Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel with a new video about World of Tanks. Today it's the second part of our clan wars between us, the clan TTX, versus the clan FFS, French Fighting Spirit. I already uploaded the first 4 battles, and here you go, you'll have the remaining 3 today. The rules are the same, tier 10, no gold ammunition, we have to wait 2 minutes before we can move, stuff like that. It was already fully explained in the first video, so watch it if you haven't already. Now I will simply focus on the replay. The configuration of this map is very different from the previous two, and we decided to go with a majority of heavy tanks, 5 of them, 1 medium and 2 tank destroyers, whereas in the enemy team you can see that they have clearly different intentions because they have 2 medium tanks and a piece of artillery. Our strategy is to lock down the southern part of the map with our 2 tank destroyers. There's a massive open area which can be like a shooting gallery for tank destroyers if heavy tanks are going through, which is very classic in random battles. And the majority of our force will move towards the northern part of the map, and from there we will adapt according to what we spot. My original order injunction was to go with the remaining heavy tanks just in front of me, but it was suggested to me to just wait behind. First, to be undetected, and two, because at the moment we don't have the information about the enemy and we don't necessarily need my firepower. So right now I am between positions, between orders, let's say. I don't have a clear plan, but my objective at the moment is to remain undetected, and I've decided to go behind the rock on my right because I can still stay undetected, and I will have some opportunities afterwards, I believe. The other reason was they have an artillery piece in the enemy team, and they will probably telling him to shoot where most heavies are, so he will take chances. And if we have less heavy tanks at the same position, when we are still in the defensive phase, like reconnaissance and just checking what we can do or not, I'm not required, and it's not optimal for me to be with them. I would be required to be with them if they wanted to push. And even if they did right now, I can still join them from the C4 location, so it's not too bad. If we didn't spot anyone in A4, A5, or let's say not as much as what we have now, we would have pushed earlier and I would have joined them. But it is not the case. But it isn't the case, and we are not going to rush foolishly in this open portion of the map. I know it isn't the most exciting part of this battle, but still there's something extremely interesting going on at this moment. As you can see, 2 of our heavy tanks are heading south, and since I haven't been spotted, that's 3 heavy tanks that they don't really know the location at the moment. And the idea is for us to maintain some presence, crap, I have been spotted, maintain a presence in D1, D2 to stop them and to make them believe that we are still very strong on this position. And actually we are going to flank them with our 2 heavies and a medium tank. And yes, it's a very delicate situation for us, because flanking in a heavy tank, even if they are quite mobile, quite fast, it still takes a while, especially on a large map like this one. You can easily reposition yourself in White Park or any small map, but Arctic region, in which the center is kind of forbidden for heavy tanks, it takes a while. And since we haven't spotted enemy tanks in the southern part of the map, our tank destroyers are actually joining them. So the job of the 3 heavies in the northern part of the map, including mine, is to block the enemy progression and alert our team if the enemy is trying to push us. And if they don't, we have to hold our position and wait for reinforcement coming from the flank. So yeah, it's an extremely long reposition in which I am just waiting patiently I know it doesn't look good, I am just doing absolutely nothing in a clan war at the moment, but it's important, honestly. So, discipline and cooperation are the two most important aspects in a clan war, much more than heroic, isolated actions. And now, only at this moment, the war can really start. We have spotted a heavy tank in B8, B9, which means that they know we are circling around them. They will have very soon the information that we are not so many in B1, C1 location, so they could push towards us. Every second that they are waiting, they are losing a lot of valuable time because if we can still keep our heavy tanks alive, we will be able to circle and just have some nice crossfire. So now, finally, our trap is set and we can have at last some action. I am just checking the enemy positions, but apparently no one will have an angle on me, so I can already move forward. Only the medium tank in the middle of the map will have an angle on me if he exposes himself, and it wouldn't be enough to take me down, so I just move forward. And yes, it's 6 minutes into the beginning of this battle. Remember, we started at 13 instead of 15. 6 minutes into the battle and I can only start playing. And this, I believe, is a standard in Clan War. You will have to wait for the right moment. Sometimes you want to push very aggressively, very early to surprise the enemy team, and sometimes you delay, and you try to set a trap. It was this match. It was a very long trap to set up. Now it is done. I think we have a huge advantage over the enemy. Specifically, the ability to score some sneaky hits in the back of our opponents. I originally wanted to track him, but he won't go really far anyway. Now I badly wanted my second shot to go into his track to prevent him from turning around, but terrible gun depression on the IS-7. I mean, if you are just moving upwards a hill, not going to work very well. Again, track shot not possible, but he went forward to escape. Well, it won't be possible. The 268 is quite fast, but the maneuverability, I mean the turning the hull is extremely long. So he would have never had the chance to shoot me a second time. And now it is time to map up the remaining opponents. So it took us 6 minutes to set up our trap, longer than what we expected, and the game actually lasted less than 2 minutes. So the most important part is to know when to attack, to know when to relocate yourself if need be. It was the case in this battle. Sorry, I was tunnel visioning on the heavy tank. I forgot about this wreck. But yes, relocating can be a crucial element even with heavy tanks in a clan war, because when you start acting, it will go extremely fast. So it's a risk. Meanwhile, you are relocating yourself. You take the risk of being surprised, caught off guard of position. You take the risk of having a portion of your team being isolated and rushed. So you really want to minimize this moment of vulnerability. But it is a risk, and if you take it and if you succeed, I mean you survive this moment, you will have a massive advantage, and in a few minutes you will be able to dominate the battlefield and win quickly. So we were kind of lucky. Anyway, it paid off. It was a very, very good experience. We learned from it. And now let's proceed to the next replay. This time the enemy team has 5 tank destroyers. Actually, we were thinking that they would camp on defensive positions, but they didn't. We have already spotted 2 of their tank destroyers. We have the enemy medium in the same location, and we have quite a similar setup. So we originally wanted to have a spread deployment just to to have vision on most of the map to prevent anything, and since we were expecting them to camp on defensive position, we just wanted to know where was the weakest link of their defense and rush through it. I am moving forward because we wanted to be more aggressive on this one and to push earlier, and since we might be targeted by some tank destroyers camping in C7, C8 location, I wasn't so inclined to rush as my teammate did, but he did. I need to support him, so I will just ram him for a nice 700 points of damage, and that's one opponent taken down. And we have the majority of the enemy strength spotted at the southern part of the map, which means that, well, first I can't stay here, they have a vision on me, and two, we will have the possibility to push toward their base. We have two options now. The first one is just to cap. They have some quite slow tanks, they will have some serious difficulties to reset our capture points, but we already won the majority of our fights up to now, so we decided to go for a fight, because, well, first we prefer that, and second, if we lose because of our aggressivity, and, well, actually this is quite reckless, but if we lose this run because of it, we will still have the opportunity to learn from it, and if we lose, we won't lose the war overall. So in a different scenario, like for example, if we were losing, especially by a huge margin, we would ensure the victory. We would cap. It would be the wisest and safest option to ensure the victory. So we voluntarily decided to ignore this option just because we wanted a good fight and we were confident, and we didn't have any pressure. So now it is time for some nice crossfire. Our heavy tanks located near our base were wiped out, but we still have the possibility to attack them from two different angles, so we still have the position advantage. And as you can see, they are located in the open portion of the map. I think they actually wanted to push through this location quite early and try to threaten our base. They were not fast enough to do this, and now they are caught themselves out of position. So it's time to mob up again. I'm trying to hit the mantlet of the object 263, which is actually the weak spot, but without gold ammunition, even without any angle, it's still quite strong, and I don't have 100% chance to hit it, so I'm switching target, finishing off a tank destroyer from the rear. Quite easy shot, honestly, and now I'm in 6 versus 1. I don't have any doubt about the outcome of this battle. So another victory for the TTX. So now let's finish this video with the last battle on the last map. We were supposed to do 2 battles on this map, but there were some disconnection issues, and we didn't have the opportunity to do the last battle. I actually showed you the beginning of the battle because 2 of our tanks moved before the 13-minute mark, but I showed the very beginning of the video just to show you their original position, and they were behind it. They just moved in the opposite direction, and then they went back in their original position, so we didn't have any more forward position at the beginning of the 13-minute mark. We were actually behind it, so it was just to show you the proof of it. Anyway, it's not professional to move before the 13-minute mark. I will have to talk about this with my clan, but anyway, you can watch the video again and you will have the proof that we didn't cheat. It was not the intention, they just got bored. It was a long war, and we didn't have a strategy, honestly, for this game. We just wanted to have all of our tank rush the hill where I am currently sitting at, and we just wanted to have a brutal brawling fight. So I went forward, I led the charge, I took some shots and died quite stupidly, but the idea was to have a very aggressive rush as early as possible, and it paid off because we got rid of the 2 medium tanks sitting on the top of the hill, and it meant that we had the possibility to contest this portion of the map. And since we have now the numerical advantage, the idea is just to use our DPM to our advantage. It was not executed with the perfect coordination. I went forward too early without thinking about those two medium tanks. It was very reckless and stupid from me, so huge mistake from me. And afterwards, they didn't all come in with the perfect coordination, taking down enemies one at a time. It was not perfect, so we have to improve on it. But still, we were more efficient than the enemy team, and we used our DPM to our advantage. So it was not perfect, but still it's a last victory for our team, and it was extremely pleasant to play, even if it lasted just like a minute for me, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. I think our team enjoyed it as well. So this video is now coming to an end. First of all, I would like to thank the French fighting spirit to face us and to give us some amazing rounds. It was extremely pleasant. I'd like to thank also our team, TTX, because it was kind of a last notice, but we all made it, and we had a very pleasant evening. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to press like and subscribe. And if you are part of a clan, and if you want to do some clan wars, just send a message on the forum, or you can directly send me a message, and I will be very pleased to fight you. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.